Biden issues a warning about presidential power and Trump after the Supreme Court's immunity ruling. President Joe Biden on Monday criticized the Supreme Court's decision granting presidents absolute immunity from prosecution for core official acts, and issued a stark warning about the potential consequences of a second term for former President Donald Trump.
There are no kings in America. Each of us is equal before the law. No one is above the law, not even the President of the United States, Biden declared in a Whitehouse speech.
Biden expressed concern that the Supreme Court's decision on presidential immunity significantly alters the balance of power.
For all practical purposes, there are virtually no limits on what the president can do. It's a fundamentally new principle and a dangerous precedent because the power of the office will no longer be constrained by the law, even including the Supreme Court of the United States, he stated.
The Supreme Court, in a 6-3 decision along ideological lines, ruled that Trump could claim immunity from criminal prosecution for some actions taken while in office. This decision is likely to delay his federal election subversion trial related to the events of January 6. The ruling overturns a federal appeals court decision from February, which found that Trump enjoyed no immunity for alleged crimes committed during his presidency in an attempt to reverse the 2020 election results. The speech comes at a critical time for Biden's campaign as he addresses persistent concerns about his age and performance. His unsteady performance in a recent debate raised anxiety among top donors and questions about his viability as a candidate. During Monday's speech, Biden appeared alert, reading energetically from a teleprompter in the cross hall of the White House. However, he did not take questions, walking away after his 5-minute scripted statement. Biden referenced the January 6th insurrection at the U.S. Capitol, calling it one of the darkest days in the history of America. He noted that the court's decision makes it unlikely that Trump will face trial for his criminal charges related to that riot before the election. The court's decision allows special counsel Jack Smith to move forward with his election subversion case against Trump, but leaves many technical questions unresolved. This makes it increasingly unlikely that a trial will commence before the November election. Smith's case now returns to lower courts to review the specific steps Trump took to overturn the 2020 election results and determine whether those actions were official and therefore receive immunity or were private and do not. The majority opinion stated that Trump's conversations with the Justice Department and efforts to get officials to support overturning the election were covered by absolute immunity. For other official actions, the court said there is at least some immunity and deferred to lower courts to sort that out, a process that could take weeks or months. Significantly, the majority ruled that official acts cannot be considered as evidence in a potential trial, complicating Smith's efforts to prevail. Chief Justice John Roberts also wrote that lower courts may not consider a former president's motive, which could allow Trump's attorneys to argue that he wasn't attempting to overturn the election in his favor. I know I will respect the limits of the presidential powers I've had for 3.5 years, but any president, including Donald Trump, will now be free to ignore the law, Biden said. Biden, who has made protecting democracy a central tenet of his campaign, described the decision as part of a broader pattern by the Supreme Court in undermining a wide range of long-established legal principles, citing other decisions on voting rights and civil rights to highlight the stakes of the presidential election. He added that voters now hold the ultimate power to hold Trump accountable. The American people must decide if they want to entrust the presidency to Donald Trump, now knowing that he'll be even more emboldened to do whatever he pleases whenever he wants to do it. Biden concurred with Justice Sonia Sotomayor's dissent, quoting her statement, "In every use of official power, the president is now a king above the law. With fear for our democracy, I dissent. So should the American people dissent. I dissent." The Supreme Court's decision had an immediate impact. Trump's legal team filed a letter Monday seeking to challenge his conviction in the New York criminal hush money trial, based on the High Court ruling on presidential immunity, according to a source. Trump's lawyer filed a letter with Judge Juan Merchan, seeking permission to file a motion to challenge the verdict, which could delay Trump's sentencing set for next week to allow the parties to brief the issue. The Manhattan District Attorney's Office did not file its sentencing submission Monday as expected, according to a source. Tell us in the comment below what you think about the unprecedented immunity privilege just granted to Donald Trump and the possible long-term effect on American democracy and the rest of the world. Thank you, and please do well to like our channel, share it with your friends, and subscribe for instant notification anytime we post a new content.